This is a story about loss, about grief, about sacrifice, about...
Hey, I'm Zach. And I'm not. Micah is my name. And we're directors at ZAMination, an indie animation studio making music videos on YouTube. We want to start using ZAMination 2 more to shed some light on how we make our videos and kind of give a behind the scenes look of what goes into making animated projects like these. Such as our Lethal Company music video, Follow the Orders. Get comfortable, grab a snack, for our tale of woe begins with... We've been creating Minecraft animations for a long time, like years and years and years. So we've always been wanting to experiment with new styles and do something refreshing. So yeah, Minecraft was out the window. And we started developing ideas for this proposed round style. It just so happened at the same time, Lethal Company was gaining popularity. And we saw it as a fun blank slate where we can add a lot of our own unique spin on the style and add a lot of goofy character and stuff like that. Oh God! And it seemed like good timing, so we were like, all right, let's try it. So the next step was to make something. So we made this song. On an adventure, infinite tenure, gathering scrap to give back only in fact what we lack. Andromeda did most of the work, composing and producing the song. Myself, Micah, and Archie helped with some additional parts of the song. There's a lot more we could discuss about how we made the song, but I'm just gonna skim through it because that could literally be an entire video on its own. But yeah, Lethal Company, song, made now, which meant it was time to start exploring the art style. So we were thinking, okay, how do we push the cartoon factor to the max then? And we just said, hey, why not try to just make it look like a hand-drawn Saturday morning cartoon? It sounded easy enough. It was just a cartoon. It can't be that hard, right?
I think having 4 characters was already in the plans, but the original vision was that all 4 characters were going to like be exact duplicates of each other's designs. I delivered different body types just to choose from. My supervisors, Mike and Zachary, it kind of said like, what if all of these were just like all separate characters instead of like a design that would be consistent between all characters.
While designing 4 unique characters would take more time and more resources, we once again thought,
why not?
Yours truly also had a little hand in this, because I got to make the 3D version of Avalon's environmental concept art. Easily the best part of the whole video. As we were developing the 3D, 2D mix art style, some of our big influences were Arcane for its like hand-painted kind of look, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles specifically for its very hand-drawn looking textures. And then another big inspiration was DreamWorks' The Bad Guys, specifically because of its just extremely wacky cartoony animation. Some of the art direction was also inspired by a project that Zach and I were previously developing at another studio a while back called Robopolis, where the art style also had that colorful, wacky Saturday morning cartoon look mixed with 3D animation. And after the 2D concept art was done, it was time to instill it with the 3rd dimension.
My main inspiration to this actually was the SpongeBob Sponge on the Run movie. So I always loved the style for it, and one of the things I really enjoyed working on was this kind of like stitching pattern for a little badge.
The style ended up leaning more 2D than this, but it gave us a really good base to start with.
Avalon did like a draw over of the old character models, and she like took their proportions and wonked them in 2D, and then that was like the main piece of media that I used to like determine the whole rest of the style, because I made the character models in 3D like very heavily based on those drawings.
On this video I started with props. That was the first thing I did. So this apparatus on my screen is one of the early ones, and I just painted everything. I had a really simple base of some like shadow colors I blocked in, and then you could see the before and after of just the manual painting I did.
So yeah, now we knew what the characters would look like, and now we had an idea of what the environments would look like, which led us to color scripts.
The definition for color scripting is a visual breakdown of a provided script through the art of color theory and assorted palettes. So putting together those palettes to kind of visualize either the tone of the scene or the environment the characters are in is most important. Having that contrast is also very important when it comes to color scripting, because if their eyes aren't immediately entertained, then you're not doing your job right. You know, so it's definitely one of those things where you want to make it fun to look at, you want to make it visually pleasing while also having that vibe of the scene in general. Just, I feel like you can feel with the characters through these colors as well.
Well, we hadn't exactly done this for a project before. We thought it was cool and exciting, so we figured, why not? With all of this figured out, we were finally ready to move on to... Yeah, so not much happened in the next 6 months. Andy, Zachary, and I were reached out to by Glitch Productions, offering us full-time jobs there. We thought it would be a really cool opportunity to work with Glitch, and also a good source of stability to be able to continue to make our own videos like the Lethal Company one, so we accepted. And progress slowed down a lot on the Lethal Company video. We eventually decided to go part-time instead so that we could continue to foster ZAMination and give it the time and care it needed, and so we could actually finish our video.
Much later.
Something that we've never done before is adding our own hand-drawn smear frames and then break the rig in any way you want and it be a stylistic choice. It's different in a good way though, because when you're dealing with Minecraft and you're using block mechanics, there's a lot less you can get away with because it's more simple. So in a way it's harder to make look good. For this project in particular, we got to just focus on the way that we move from one pose to another and how each part of the body can get from one point to another in different motion paths.
Shape language was like a big thing for this project. Like, yeah, like you've got the characters on the screen, but for me, I had to think of everything almost like a ball bounce in a sense. It was cool to like think of and like imagine like different methods for making things work.
This is one of the only projects I've had come out where it's not a Minecraft animation, and it was really different because I normally animate Minecraft things, so I feel like this was a great learning experience for me to be able to do something that's not Minecraft for once.
Daddy was no dummy.
So the process for creating like the paintings and stuff is different from what I would normally do. I tend to draw a lot of like line-based stuff. With this style, it's line-less, but I think it really paid off. It's almost like I draw with the lasso tool instead of a pen tool. So that just means I block out the shapes with the tool, and then I go in and add like lighting and shading to the specific like shape and stuff.
I went into this thinking, oh, I want it to look like arcane 2D effects. And then the more I started working on it, I was like, no, this is like, I don't know, after seeing some of the clips from the video where, you know, we had done some of the layout already, I was like, okay, no, this needs to be more silly looking and bubbly and animated and just like cartoony.
Production was off and things were going great. The team was growing, new props, animation, assets rolling in left and right. It seemed like nothing could go wrong.
But we were the ones who were wrong.
We started to notice something. And we noticed it too late. A presence that had been with us the whole time. A horrible, dangerous monster, widely known in the industry as... Scope creep, by definition, is the increase of requirements over time during a project. Basically doing more and more and more than you originally had planned. And that hit us like a frickin' asteroid during this production. Decisions like deciding to make 4 unique rigs for the main characters rather than all the same rig, increasing the numbers of planets the characters visit, and adding color scripts to the mix during production are all examples of things that, while they turned out amazing, also weren't accounted for in the original project estimates when we had started, leading to increased time and budget. So yeah, we realized this video was going way over budget and had quickly become the most expensive project we had ever made by a long shot. By, as the title implies, a $100,000 long shot. Needless to say, you generally don't want to spend that much money on one YouTube video. No, you do not. And for context, we had hit the $100,000 budget mark and we still had months of production left. So there was a real moment. We had to think to ourselves, can we even afford to finish this thing without putting the studio's future at risk? We were reaching the finish line, but a little bit of anxiety was growing internally. We hadn't released a new project for the better part of a year, by far the longest we'd ever gone without a release. We didn't even know if people were gonna like the video yet. Would fans be upset that it's not in our usual Minecraft style? Are we too late to Lethal Company to the point where it's outdated? Anxieties aside, the music video's release date was approaching, and it was time to tease the video to the world. And to our surprise, everyone loved it. We ended up getting 70,000 likes on Twitter, which is far and beyond the most likes we've ever gotten on any of our projects, and so many supportive comments. With all this tremendous support from the fans, motivations were high. We were like artists possessed and blasted through the rest of production. And then finally, the release date arrived. And then... We don't know what happened. As of writing this, the video hasn't come out yet, so we don't know what happened. But the performance isn't the lesson here. The real lesson is scope creep.
Now I want to make something very, very clear. Lower scope is not inherently a bad thing. Sometimes limited scope can be the best way to inspire creativity. I think some great examples of lowering scope without hindering quality are things like indie horror films, and especially the Blair Witch Project. That movie was filmed as home video footage because of budget restraints and revolutionized the horror genre as a result. Think about creative ways you can use scope control to limit costs and inspire creative ideas.
So, moral of the story, animation is hard. Animation's expensive and it's time consuming. Why do we do it? I don't know, because we love it and we want to keep doing it. And the only way we can do that is to keep the scope monster locked in the dungeon at all times, 24-hour security, weapons locked and loaded, ready to shoot the scope monster.
Regardless of the ups and downs, we're extremely proud of what we were able to create with this project, and I just want to give a huge thank you to the entire ZAMination team. Everyone did an amazing job and went above and beyond what I thought we could ever accomplish as a team together, so give yourself a pat on the back, guys. We're really excited to take everything we've learned from this project and infuse it into our future projects and continue creating awesome stuff for you guys.
But yeah, animation is expensive, and if you're not passionate about it and are only doing it to make heaps of cash, why are you doing it then? Just drill for oil or something.
Okay, bye! Hey everyone, it's Micah. I wanted to thank you all and give you a little update on some of the stuff we're doing here at ZAMination. This video you just watched is the first in a new era of videos here on ZAMination 2 that we'd love to continue making, where we deep dive into the behind-the-scenes world of animation. We have a lot of ideas for things that we want to try, like animation tutorials, hour-long deep dives into the nitty-gritty of how we make our videos, and more stuff like that. That's all from me for now. Thanks again, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye!